Yeah, Hari Om all. So we'll start with the prayer first, and then we'll have a small intro talk on what we are learning, why we are learning Bhagavad Gita, and then we will go into the detailed slokas and the contemplation on them. So, Shubhaji, can you start with the prayers?
Yeah. Let's all sit straight, do our Namaskara Mudra and start. We'll say Om 3 times. Om. 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Salutations to the divine in all beings. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru is the creator, who is the Brahma. Guru is the preserver, Vishnu. Guru is the transformer, Maheshwara. Guru is the absolute Lord himself, within creation and beyond. Salutations to that Sri Guru, the most auspicious, who removes the ignorance of samsara. Narayana Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Beginning with Narayana, through Adi Shankaracharya in between, and up to my own preceptor, I bow with reverence to the entire tradition of preceptors. Beginning with Sadashiva, through Adi Shankaracharya in between, and up to my own preceptor, I bow with reverence to the entire tradition of preceptors. Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti, Puja Moolam Guru Padam, Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam, Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. The root of meditation is the form of the Guru. The root of worship is the feet of the Guru. The root of mantra is the word of the Guru. The root of liberation is the grace of the Guru. Sri Guru is the root of salvation. Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitorvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om, the one pervading all three spaces, earth, space, and beyond. I meditate upon that divine light, the one who is source of light to the sun, and may that light awaken my intellect.
Thank you, Shubhaji. And once again, we will start by seeking the grace of our Guru, Prabhuji. Based on his talks, we have learned all these scriptures today. And what we will be learning going forward as well will be based on his recorded talks. And also our own Vijayji, from whom we have been learning directly. Vijayji, I will like you to give an intro on the classes.
Hari Om, thank you very much, Sarvanji and Shubhaji. Hari Om to all the divine Atma Jyotis. Welcome and thank you for joining today's session. So, before we get started, maybe why don't we have a quick round of introduction? If you can unshare Sarvanji, let us get introduced to each other. And that way we can take the next step. So, yeah, if you all can be kindly on the video, if possible, it'll be nice so that everybody can see you. So we'll begin with first, Ishaji. The name I'm seeing in the order, yeah. So Ishaji, can you please introduce yourself?
Namaskaram. My name is Isha, as you have been calling me, and I am a recruiter in Bangalore. We work in placing candidates to different companies. That's what I do. I have a son who's 12. He was supposed to join us. Unfortunately, he slept late. He's not waking up early. So he's about, he's in 7th grade. So hopefully I will get my entire family by next week. And my husband has joined.
Hi. Namaste.
Namaste.
My name, and we both do the same recruitment.
Sorry, I didn't hear your name clearly. Your name is?
My name is Ravi. Ravi.
Yeah. And how both of you got interested, and how did you get connected to this?
Sir, I saw a family member put it on WhatsApp status. So that's how I came to know, and I shared it to so many people who actually joined the course, but unfortunately they're not in class today. So I will remind them. Maybe I have to wake them up next week or remind them, but I will make sure I'll wake them also. That's how. And we both wanted to learn Bhagavad Gita, but when we buy the book and we try to read, it's very tough for us. To read the words when we don't have a help. So, we have crossed so many years of our life without reading it. I thought, okay, at least now we have to read so that our next generation can learn, as a way of life.
Excellent. Very nice. Do you have any other background to Bhagavad Gita, or any other scripture, or any other spiritual practices?
No, sir, we haven't done that. We try to do some yoga, but otherwise, other than going to temple and doing a bit of yoga, we haven't actually read Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, wonderful. No worries. That is not necessary. Just wanted to understand what is the background. Yeah. Okay. And Raviji, is that the same thing for you as well?
Yeah, in school I had like Sanskrit as one of the languages. So that's like one part of it. And I'm not an ardent follower of Sadhguru, but Sadhguru has helped me be here today. So otherwise, probably I was on a different path altogether.
Okay, all right. Welcome to Ishaji and Raviji. Next, may I request Ashwini ji to introduce yourself?
Hari Om all, good morning. I am Ashwini Kulkarni from Pune. Professionally, I am a cost accountant, practicing cost accountant, and worked in corporate for 13 years. And I have own practice in Pune. I am from Pune, and I am Sadhguru Prabhuji's student. That's it.
Wonderful, Ashwini ji. So you have already some background. You've been part of our previous study circle as well.
Yes,
and
sir.
you wanted to continue from the beginning, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Wonderful. Welcome, Ashwini ji.
Thank you.
I see name as just iPhone. May I know who is behind this name iPhone? There is a name appearing as this iPhone, and currently you are on mute. Okay, all right. We'll get back to you later. Then Sindhuji, are you there? Sindhuji, are you there? I'm not able to hear Sindhuji either. Sindhuji and iPhone both are on mute. Okay, all right. We'll
iPhone, Vijayji,
yeah.
it's Minuji with the
Minuji. So
Minuji.
iPhone is Minuji. Okay. Minuji, are you not able to unmute and speak? Okay, we'll come back later then. Maybe there is some problem. How about...
Oh, she is not able to unmute, so like, let me see. I think I can.
Okay. Minuji, you can probably rejoin and see if that helps you. Meanwhile...
Sir, I'll help her. I know her. I will just call and help her.
She can hear.
Thank you very much, Ishaji. Yeah. Yeah, meanwhile, let's get introduced to Rajshekhar, sir. Rajshekhar-ji.
Namaste to all. My name is Rajshekhar. I'm 45-year-old, single parent to a 10-year-old daughter who's studying in 4th grade. And I'm into corporate, currently managing operations in Tivil Computer Solutions. My spiritual journey started 3 years back, where I got into the regression therapies, the hypnotherapy, and then the transpersonal regression therapy. I definitely heard about Bhagavad Gita, but I'm taking baby steps into this. Thanks to Vijayji, whom I know from last 1 year through our work. So happy to be on this forum and then learning. Thank you.
Welcome, Rajshekhar-ji. All right. Sindhuji, are you able to unmute? Are you able to hear us, Sindhuji?
Hi sir, good morning.
हाँ, नमस्ते, हरिओम सिंधु जी.
Namaste. मेरी नाम मीनाक्षी है.
Oh, you are Meenakshi. So the Sindhu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sindhu is my daughter.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I'm just going to rename as Meenakshi. Yeah, please go ahead.
सर मैं हाउसवाइफ हूँ.
Yeah.
मेरी एक बेटी है.
Yeah.
और she is studying in 12th standard.
Yeah.
गीता सुनने के लिए, सीखने के लिए आज इस क्लास में ज्वाइन हुई हूँ.
Okay. Is it okay if I ask you questions in English?
Okay. I'm not that perfect. Okay, I can manage.
Excellent. Yeah. So do you have any background in Bhagavad Gita, Meenakshi ji?
No sir. महाभारत तो मैं पढ़ती हूँ. पढ़ी नहीं थी, बस सीरियल्स सुनती हूँ. यूट्यूब में ना ज्यादातर महाभारत सुनती हूँ, लेकिन भगवत गीता कभी नहीं.
ठीक है. और आप कहाँ से हैं मीनाक्षी जी? आप कहाँ रहते हैं?
बैंगलोर
में रहते हैं. ठीक. Welcome Meenakshi ji.
Thank you sir.
Yeah. So we'll also get introduced to some of our participants from the previous study circle, and also we'll introduce the ones who are going to be anchoring this session. So Rupa ji, can you please introduce yourself?
Hari Om all. I am Rupa. I am from Udupi. I'm a housewife, and I have been a part of this study circle since a year now. That's all.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rupa ji. Shilpakala ji.
Hari Om everyone. My name is Shilpa and I'm from Pune, and I've been part of this study circle under Vijay sir for 3 years. So some of us from this circle have started our journey together. So I'm very glad to continue with this journey first with Vijay sir and with my other Atmajyoti friends. So it's great to be a part of this group as well. Thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome, Shilpakala ji. Padma ji.
Yeah, Hari Om everyone. So first of all, I would like to welcome Isha and Ravi. So the family member that they mentioned is me only. I only shared it in the status, and I'm so happy that they were able to get a couple of more who are interested in this study. Yeah, so I have also been with Vijay sir for the past 3 years, I think, now. And it has been a very enriching experience. Not only that, but it has made a lot of difference in our personal life, how we deal with situations which come to us and how not to get attached. Also, after being part of the Bhagavad Gita group for more than a year, we were fortunate enough to go into Vedanta studies, and we contemplate on Sundays with the Vedanta scriptures. So we have already finished Tattva Bodha and we have started a new scripture. So if any of you want to take up Vedanta as well, this is the best place. So with the guidance and videos of Guruji, we contemplate on all those things like Saravananji mentioned. So welcome to all of you, and it will be a great learning journey and experience for all of you, I think. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Padma ji. And now, the main anchors will be anchoring this particular study circle. So the way we do this study is Prabhuji is the founder of Light of the Self Foundation, Atmajyoti Satsang. It initially started off as a small gathering around Prabhuji in his home. Today, now it has grown leaps and bounds. There are many, many activities that happen under Light of the Self Foundation. So Bhagavad Gita study is one of them. Like already Padmaji mentioned, Vedanta study. So Prabhuji has given talks on various Upanishads. So there is a Vedanta study circle that also happens. There is program for children called as iLead. It's a leadership development program, a 4-stage leadership development program, which usually spans over 2 to 3 years, called iLead. That is there. Then under iLead, there are so many circles that happen for children. There is art circle, there is technology learning, there is public speaking, there is debate, there is Vedic math. So like that, today there is more than some 20 plus circles that happen under iLead alone. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the Bhagavad Gita study circles, they happen all over the world. Just like this particular study circle, this is called as Parthasarathy study circle. So just like this Parthasarathy study circle, there are more than some 30 plus coordinators all over the world who are conducting these kinds of study circles. So before we jump into what is the study circle and what is the purpose and how we conduct, before I introduce our main anchors, Shubhaji and Saravananji, I thought some little introduction is essential. So now I first request Shubhaji to introduce herself.
Hari Om everyone, I'm Shubha. I stay in Bangalore and I have been part of this Light of the Self Foundation under Vijay ji. I got to know about this foundation through Vijay ji, and of course Prabhuji is the one who has been guiding us. But my first session started with Vijay ji. So my first guru is Vijay ji. So he has it's been a 3-year journey with this foundation. Yeah, that's about me. I am a mother of 2 teenage kids.
Wonderful.
And that's about me.
Thank you very much, Shubhaji. Meenakshi ji, are you able to unmute now and speak? Huh?
Minuji is unmuted.
Meenuji is correct.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hari Om
Hello,
Meenuji.
sir.
Yeah.
Hello. My name is Minu. I work for Isha. Isha, she just introduced herself.
Yeah.
I work for her. I work as a recruiter for her company itself.
Yeah.
So she introduced me to this profile, like to join the meeting. She was the one who sent me the link. So I'm here.
Wonderful, wonderful, Meenuji. Do you have any background in Bhagavad Gita? Have you?
No, sir. No, this is my first session.
Your first one. Okay, wonderful. Welcome, Meenuji.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saravaji?
Yeah, let me introduce myself. Hari Om all. So I joined Guruji's classes around, I think, 2019. It started with a casual discussion with Vijayji in school, where like our kids studied together. We used to go there. So in general about like life, how does he manage? And I was surprised that he was running a company at that time, and he was very calm. And while I was just managing a small team, and I was thinking like life is too busy, and still that satisfaction was missing. And I was trying to figure out what was I going after. Right? And then he introduced me to Prabhuji's session. And I think now since 2019, I've been with Vijayji, learning Bhagavad Gita and Tattva Bodha with others. I work in Bangalore, and I'm from Madurai, a native place, and I have 2 daughters, and that should be it. Yeah, with these classes, I would say it has given me that I would say the room to go and sit in between all my other activities to get that clarity and find the balance. I hope like everyone else will find it useful as well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Sarananji. So just to before we go into the Bhagavad Gita itself, a very short introduction. So I came into Prabhuji's guidance almost like 12 years back, or 10 plus years back, around 2013 or 14, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, I've been with Prabhuji. I also have another master, Sri Vinaykar, who's the founder of Sevak. So I started my journey with Vinay Vinaykar Guruji, and then I found Sadguru Narsim Prabhuji. So right from beginning, what I found in Prabhuji's teaching is absolute clarity, and the clarity about what. So most of us have questions about various aspects of our life, right from our own worries or stress or tension related to work, or let's say managing family, or about children. So there are so many aspects of tensions and anxieties that we all carry in our mind about our own life, to how our family members are, or how others are in the society, and the society especially that we live in India. It has so much of a variety of practices and behaviors. It all makes you wonder, what is the basis of all this? When will all this become quiet and normal? So like that, we all carry so many questions about ourselves and about life in general. So the clarity that I speak about is about what is the basis of all this confusion and stress and anxiety, which very incidentally I found was also there thousands and thousands of years back in this great person called Arjuna. Supposedly he is a very accomplished archer, one of the greatest archer. That is how in Mahabharata it is described about him. It's just like most of us, all of us have reached a certain level of comfort and name and fame and position in whatever the corporate careers or whatever the levels we are in. However, there seems to be something about us that yearns to find some more deeper meaning, deeper connection. And this fellow Arjuna also had a similar confusion. Right in the middle of the warfield, he was dumbfounded. Should I do it or not do it? Here is my situation where I need to fight with my relatives. I need to kill my maybe my close friends and my so many grandparents, teachers with whom I've learned so many things. Is this even the right thing to do? So he had all these kinds of confusion. So in the similar confusion, in a similar kind of a situation is how the Bhagavad Gita study circle has begun in Atmajyoti. So coincidentally, you may even think of this as totally made up, but coincidentally, how Prabhuji started the Bhagavad Gita teaching is there was a person called Arjuna. True, his name is Arjuna. He is a corporate coach. He goes to corporates and teaches them how to be profitable and how to manage their business and so on and so forth. So he runs a corporate coaching company. So Arjun had a lot of trouble in his life. So he found Prabhuji as part of one of his, he is also part of this Toastmasters, and he had to do interview. And that is how he happened to meet Prabhuji. And the first day he came to meet Prabhuji. Before he could meet Prabhuji, somebody in the office told him that, here is Prabhuji who has not gotten angry in the last 35 years. And Arjun did not believe him. Is there any person that we have met in life, who has never gotten angry for 35 years, that too? He thought this must be some made up story just to embellish this person. But anyway, he went and met, he didn't find anything. But Arjun, being a corporate coach, he has to learn how to transform, right? His job is all about transforming. So he thought, okay, let me experiment with this guy, Prabhuji. So what he did is, he said, he will come to Prabhuji's house one day at around 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and to continue that interview process. So he said, yeah, come over. So till about 7:30, 8:30, he did not even call. Then he called and he said, can I come now? And Prabhuji said, yeah, come over. So, he thought, okay, so now he'll be at least angry. I made him wait for at least 2 hours. But when he went there, Prabhuji just quietly received him and said, okay, can we get started? So Arjun was getting confused. So he asked, I made you wait for almost like 2-3 hours. Are you not angry? Why I should be angry? You said you will come. Then, you did not come. I had something else to do and I was simply doing it. Now, when you called, I looked at it and I thought, okay, this work is done and I can give you time. So you've come. So then, Arjun asked, so what if, I had never called you? Yeah, I would have just continued and maybe I would have called you tomorrow to find out why you couldn't come. So Arjun was getting, for the first time, someone who was saying, as if nothing has happened. It's all quite normal, like as if wind is flowing, as if water is flowing. It is like, here's a fellow, who had no problem. So that is how Arjun's journey started in Atmajyoti Satsang. So then, he did not stop there. He continued that experiment for 2-3 times, and then he came to the conclusion that, okay, here is a fellow. And then he also asked Prabhuji's wife, is it true? Because at least the wife will never lie about husband's anger, right? My husband, don't ask me. So like that, they will get started. So, but, his wife also said the same thing. No, we have not seen him get angry at all. So slowly, so he came to the conclusion that, okay, here is some specimen. So now looking at it from the specimen's viewpoint itself, Prabhuji himself says he was a engineer in CDOT. He completed his engineering in electronics and communication. He did his master's from IIT Bombay. He used to work for CDOT. So his journey started, he used to work in signal systems. In electronic systems, especially in telecom switches, noise is a very important problem. So if there is noise, then the switching, efficiency of switching and the voice quality, so many things drop. So he had to research on noises in the telecom circuit. So as he dug deeper into that aspect of switching problem, he started wondering, okay, I am able to reduce noise in this electronic circuitry, but what about human mind? So that is how, he says his own journey itself began. And, one thing led to another. When Arjun needed help with his own family, because he was going through a lot of turmoil in his family, Prabhuji just thought of, okay, let me just start teaching Bhagavad Gita. Prabhuji himself says, he also did not know the power of Bhagavad Gita when he started. He simply thought, okay, they have invited me to his home, but instead of simply going there to his home, let me just use that time to discuss about something which is of value. So let me start with Bhagavad Gita. So that is how the talks by Prabhuji on Bhagavad Gita began. And Arjun got influenced. He started calling a couple of his neighbors. So that is how it started in Atma Jyoti. For me personally, I had never been exposed to Bhagavad Gita till I met Vinay Guruji. Even Vinay Guruji does not teach Bhagavad Gita per se, but he started talking about Bhagavad Gita. In many of his talks, he would simply invoke Krishna, Arjuna. So I had an awareness that there is something called as Bhagavad Gita. I had read Mahabharata, but never really studied Bhagavad Gita. Then I met Prabhuji. And with Prabhuji, there was one teacher called Murli. Murli used to teach Bhagavad Gita for children. So my children back then were also very young. One was in the 4th grade and one was in the 2nd grade. And I just wanted to know what is that they teach for the children? Because in my mind, Bhagavad Gita is a very advanced level text, and only in my mind, very old people read Bhagavad Gita after they retire because they have nothing else to do, is the way I used to think. So I saw these children, the way Murliji was teaching Bhagavad Gita, and I immediately found what Vinay Guruji was speaking and some of the talks that I had already heard from Prabhuji, what they're saying is what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing in those shlokas. And I also started noticing something very unique with the children. The children were very confidently speaking, and the children were asking so many deep questions. And I thought, okay, yeah, this is the right foundation then, is what has to be given to children. So my own journey in Atma Jyoti Satsang as a Gita coordinator began with helping to set up these study cycle for children. I really love working with children because with children, when you are learning Bhagavad Gita, it's as they say, when one teaches, two learn. I don't know about the children. For sure, I have learned so many lessons from their innocent questions and their innocent way of looking at life and the way they interpret those shlokas. I'm always amazed. But now, if I have to kind of rationally put it, truth must be something that is accessible to everybody. So now I am totally convinced that Bhagavad Gita is not a text. Bhagavad Gita is truly about you and me. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita no more to me feels like a text, like a scripture that I need to read and mentally understand. Bhagavad Gita is a deep deeply about you and me. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita, in Atma Jyoti itself, you see children as young as 5-year-old, 6-year-old to as young as 70 plus years old. All are part of Bhagavad Gita study circle. Of course, we run different study circles. There is English study circle, there is Kannada study circle, there are Telugu study circles, there are for children. And now in the children's study circle, some of the children who have been part of these study circles for some time, they have started anchoring and they have started teaching. Every Monday evening, 7 to 8 o'clock, there is a study circle called as Radha Krishna Study Circle. It is anchored by Manya, who is about 17 years old, Namit, who is 12 years old. So I go and sit there simply to enjoy the way they, guide others. So it's an amazing, how it opens up so many inner dimensions. Again, all of this boils down to clarity. So what is this clarity? It brings an absolute sense of clarity towards who you are, towards, various things that we carry in our mind, towards what itself, we call as this world. And what are all these so many rituals, so many things, that phenomena that happen in the world. And, all of us may at sometimes may have wondered, somebody called as God. Maybe we believe in God, maybe we don't believe in God. Maybe we believe in some form of God, maybe we don't believe in any form of God. But we may have heard about him as present or absent, or in some way we have some acquaintance with this fellow called God. What is our relationship to God? So like that, some very fundamental questions of life. Who am I? What is my relationship to this world? Who is this God? What is my relationship to God? So Bhagavad Gita brings clarity about these fundamental questions. When fundamental questions are answered, then the way other aspects of your life are handled naturally transform. It is like when you want a mango fruit from a tree, what is important? You cannot keep on talking about the mango fruit. You have to ensure that, when it is in the plant stage, how it is nurtured, what kind of a manure you put, and how you take care of it, how you protect it, then naturally the right kind of growth happens and naturally the right kind of fruit comes. So you and I can only focus on the process of nurturing. Then the outcome is quite natural. The fruit of the mango tree is quite natural. I don't have to keep on worrying about fruit of the mango tree. I have to only focus on how to nurture the plant. So that is our study circle. And I have been very, very fortunate to be part of many study circles, including many of the Atma Jyotis who spoke earlier. With them, we have the study circle called as Ananta Gita study circle. So every Saturday morning used to be our Ananta Gita study circle time. And now our study circle members, we all felt it is time that we take it to the next level. So one is, when you start eating mango, the taste is so infectious that this mango, you don't want to gobble up all yourself. You want to share it, because it is in the sharing that, you find this mango becoming even more tastier. So that little temptation, to share is what brought us to this Parthasarathy study circle. So I once again welcome all of you, and I wish and I pray to the divine that may our journey be made smooth. May all of us realize the truth of this existence, of who I am, who this God is, what is my relationship to this world and God, and may we all be the divine light of the self, realize our true nature. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sarananji, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Vijayji, for giving the background and the details. Maybe I would like to know if anyone has any questions based on what Vijayji has explained so far. Because one thing I have noticed and have in this study circle is we asked a lot of questions and like we discuss a lot to get the clarity. Okay, and it doesn't go like one talking and others listening. So I've seen that everyone learns through questioning process, and so feel free to open up and ask whatever questions you have, and it will make it very smooth for the session to go as well.
Yeah, I would like to add one point here. There is no question that is very, I don't want to ask this question. It's embarrassing. I don't know this. There's nothing like it. We all started knowing nothing about Bhagavad Gita. And now I won't say we know everything. We just know a little bit. So please don't feel shy or don't feel bad that, no, I can't ask this question. This is dumb or something like that. So, and one more thing I would like to reassure you is from my own experience, this group doesn't judge anybody whether what question you asked and what you are talking about. Anything and everything is taken in a good spirit. So please come forward and ask questions.
So I always get reminded, Shubhaji. So the question cannot be dumb. The answer can be dumb, but there is no stupid question or there is no wrong question, because it is a question which is the intrinsic way of how mind works, is the way it unlocks something called as clarity. All right. So yes, Arunji. Looks like maybe there are no questions at this point of time.
Okay. Then in that case, maybe we'll do breathing for 2-3 minutes before we get into we'll start with the Dhyana Sloka. Yeah.
So let's just quickly tell them about the format. So the format that we generally follow. So we start with an initial prayer. As we go forward, we will get into understanding the prayer. And then we generally have what is called as dhyana, meditation. And then what is called as jnana. So fundamentally, our study circle is at 2 levels. There is dhyana and there is jnana. Now, what is this dhyana or what is this meditation? In a very simplistic sense, in order to learn something, our mind is the only vehicle through which we learn. Whatever you've learned so far, you've only learned through your mind, applying your mind. So that mind, in order to learn something, has to be like a clean whiteboard. Imagine I have a whiteboard and a lot of things are written on it. And if I have to write something new, what is that I need to do? I need to erase what is there, isn't it? So dhyana is equivalent of that at an initial level. Yeah, so we'll begin with that. So we will do a simple we will be learning various practices to help with our managing the mind. So that is the dhyana part. Then comes the jnana part. So the jnana part. So there are many, many ways of realizing the self. So you all may have heard, because all of you come from different backgrounds, and I'm sure you would have at least heard, there is bhakti yoga, which is all about devotion. There is karma yoga. Then you, especially for those who have been initiated into various energy practices, there is kriya yoga. Then there is Jnana Yoga. So like that, there are different paths of realizing the true nature of this existence. So here in our study circle, we primarily take Jnana Yoga path. Not that any other path is incorrect or lesser or more. It is essentially each one of us have a kind of a orientation. And based on that orientation, see, for example, today we announced this Bhagavad Gita study circle at least 2-3 weeks back. And, we have gathered now. These many people have gathered now. So the ones who come, you would have heard birds of the same feather flock together, right? So like that, there is some kind of orientation to a certain path, and that's what brings us to a certain environment. So therefore here, our approach is going to be primarily that of Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Vedanta, which is essentially Sri Adi Shankaracharya's school of Vedanta philosophy. That is the primary way we look at Bhagavad Gita and we interpret Bhagavad Gita. And the practice itself is broken into 3 main steps. What we do here can be summarized in 3 main steps: Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. Shravana is, see, in life, whatever you've learned, you first heard about it, you saw somewhere, and then you discussed about it. So first something comes into you by listening to it. So the Shravana of Bhagavad Gita will happen to you by, we'll be from next session, we'll be sharing various videos of Prabhuji's. So for example, we would have already announced, okay, in the next session, we are going to be discussing this particular shloka. So you can go through the talk by Prabhuji of that particular shloka, and then you will make your own notes. And then when you come into the class, when you come into this study circle, here what we do is called Manana. Manana is contemplation. Contemplation means what? So we each one share our own way of understanding it, but not as an academic understanding. See, I know shloka number 2.7, I know shloka number 12.1 has no value in life. The value is, how is that shloka applicable to my life experiences, and how I think I can use that particular shloka in my day-to-day life is the primary focus when you present Manana. So we look at that particular shloka from the standpoint of how it is applicable, how it is useful. All said and done, the study of Bhagavad Gita should be of value to you. Not that, I know another scripture is not why you are here. It is to enable us to have a happy, healthy, peaceful life. Who among here doesn't want that? So that's the fundamental purpose. So therefore, we have to apply it to our day-to-day life. So that is the Manana. That is what we do here. Each one presents and we ask questions, we exchange views. So like that, we deepen the clarity. Then comes Nididhyasa. Nididhyasa is like light bulb glowing. Tuck. So as you are contemplating, so for example, let us have a quick understanding. What is truth according to each one of you? What is truth? Let's just start with that simple question. What is truth? Who would like to go first? According to you, what is truth? Sach kya hai? According to you.
For me, it is like saying things as it is, or how I view it. Actually, we cannot So whatever I see, if I say, then that's truth.
The way I see it is truth. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Ishaji. Raviji, do you have a point of view?
I mean, yeah.
What is truth?
See, I mean, probably, what we are doing now at this minute is the reality and the truth. Yeah, I mean, beyond this, we don't know what is the next minute or the next moment. So what present, situation is what is the reality and the truth.
Excellent. Very nice. What is present is the truth. Wonderful. Very nice way of looking at it, Raviji. How about Meenuji?
What's happening in the present, that is truth for me.
Very nice. Very nice. So the more the simpler the statements are, means it is very clear. Very nice. Wonderful. Meenakshi ji, आपको क्या लगता है? What is truth? सच क्या है?
बस जब अभी इस मोमेंट को हम एंजॉय करना है, बस जो मोमेंट है वही है,
जो मोमेंट है वही सच है,
वही सच है। पास्ट को भूल जाओ, प्रेजेंट को एंजॉय कर लो,
प्रेजेंट को एंजॉय कर लो। एक्सेलेंट, वेरी नाइस। Ashwini ji, what about you? What is your view of what is truth?
Hello.
Yeah,
My view of truth was this, the same. What we are doing right now is the truth. And again, we can add to that is like seeing the things as they are, or the facts, how the things are. Truth can include this also, the facts of the situation, facts of the things, like this.
Very nice, very nice. Rajshekhar sir, your view?
I think it's at this point of time, whatever I'm aware of, I've experienced so far in the life, that's the truth, and that's something which keeps evolving. So it becomes like more bigger and bigger, like, because you get to know more things. So yeah, I would say, like, at this point of time, whatever me as an individual have experienced, heard about it, like you mentioned, or contemplated, kind of become confirmations. I think that remains the truth. However, I think it keeps evolving. You go through more experiences, and then you learn more.
Excellent, excellent. As you contemplate, that clarity about that may change. So that's what I'm talking about.
Whatever I was thinking as truth as of yesterday might change today based on the new learnings, new experiences. So absolutely, and it just a dot, and then we are evolving.
Wonderful. Anybody else? Padma ji, Shilpa ji, Rupa ji, Shubha ji, Saranam ji. Do you want to take up? What is your view of what is truth?
Okay, I'll go. For me, the truth is something that doesn't change. Right? Because if I'm going to base my action on something, if that basis itself changes, then my actions are going to be broken, or it's going to lead me into a undesirable state. Right? So truth has to be something that will not change over a period of time. It is the same anytime, anywhere, and for anyone. It cannot be that I have my truth and you have your truth, because then it is not a truth and it's going to cause confusion in the society. So it has to be something universal as well.
Very nice.
It cannot be.
So something that is universal, something that is unchanging is truth according to you.
Unchanging.
Is
Right?
that
Only then, like only then we can one can predictably say why he's doing what he's doing. Otherwise, if the foundation itself is changing, it's like when I keep my foot down, the truth for me is like the ground is there always. It's not that today the ground is there, tomorrow when I keep my foot down, it's not there. You're going to fall down. Yeah, maybe I'll stop there.
wonderful? Any other views from Shubhaji or Padmaji, Rupaji, Shilpaji?
I think I also agree with Saravanan-ji, sir, that yeah, truth is something which is constant at all times, and it doesn't change. It doesn't change with anything. It doesn't change with the situations changing in your life or what you're going through. It is always there. The truth is always, it's eternal, you can say. It doesn't change with space, time, or how you feel, or what situation you are in currently. So in that sense, yes, it is also universal. And like Saravanan-ji said, it is also the foundation. If you have something strong or unchanging to hold on to in life, things becomes easier for you, I feel. Because in our life, everything is changing constantly, right? Whether it's our body, it's our mind, our thoughts, everything keeps changing constantly. And usually we are going flow with whatever is happening. And we are also getting affected, and it's like a roller coaster. So, and also how we behave with others, or how our situation influence our behavior. Everything is always changing. Also, the people that are close to us within our family, or the ones we interact with at a workplace or wherever we go and meet people, I think it influences how we feel inside, how our day is, what situations are coming into our life. It influences to a large extent how we behave with others and all that. So I feel if we have a grounding, proper grounding, then it's less, like the effect of what we are going through is less on others as well as on our own self. Yeah, so that way it is like, yeah, it's the foundation of who we are.
Excellent. Thank you, Padmaji. Any other views? All right. So it helps to look at it from the viewpoint of examples. So like all of you said, if you notice, there are various flavors to it. Somebody said, it's a fact of life. Somebody said it is something that is unchanging. Somebody said, it is something that can be evolving. So let us look at it. So let's understand what is truth. So there is some kind of a truth, which is, let's say, true in some particular situation or say environment. So for example, if I ask each one of you, what is your name? One of you would say Isha, one of you would say Rajshekhar, one of you would say Ravi, one of you would say Meenakshi. So like that, different names, right? So there is no common, there is nothing common in that. But that's also truth. That's a statement of fact. But that's also a truth. That's a relative truth. In your context, that is correct. Another example for relative truth. If I ask you, is it a day or a night right now? All of us would agree it's day right now outside. However, today at this time, if we call somebody in, let's say USA, they may say, no, it is still night. Now, it is not that they are lying or we are telling the truth. Both of us are correct, but it's relative. It's in a particular time and space. Here it is day, there it is night. So truth can be relative. So that is called the relative truth. But there are some truths which are universal in nature, which don't necessarily change from time to time, space to space. As a simple example, in life, like already Padmaji said, there's a constant change happening. So that we can also put it as another statement. Anything that is born in life, it disappears one day. Now, that statement of fact is true irrespective of whether you are today in America or India or Japan or even on Mars. It was true yesterday for even our grandparents. It is true today for us also. It will be true for our future generation also. So this statement, whatever is born one day, dies or transforms or disappears another day, is a truth that is not relative. It is universal. It is applicable to each one of us. Whereas Isha, Rajshekar, or Meenakshi, or Ravi, or whatever else is applicable only in certain areas. The value of day or night is applicable only in certain areas. Whereas a universal truth, whatever is born dies. Now that truth, when I realize, now can I battle with that truth? Can I say, no, it's not like that, it should not be like that? No, I cannot battle with it. That is how it is, isn't it? Anything in life that is born disappears one day. So what is that I can do? I can realize this is how it is. So when I realize it, then I can use it. How? Then I will not be gung-ho or hung up on things that are changing. Because change is the nature of life. Appearance and disappearance is the nature of life. So that way, the value of universal truths is that when I realize them, I can be at peace and I can use them appropriately. So now, as you can see from this simple discussion about what is truth, we have seen different flavors of definition, and we have also seen what is the value of realizing this about truth and how we can apply. So this is the fundamental focus of our contemplation. So one way of saying it is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. So I told you till about Manana. Now Nididhyasa is like how we did now. As we spoke from each other viewpoint, we started seeing it from various angles, and we were churning it in our own minds, applying it in our own life's context, and seeing what is this truth? How do I define truth? Then now, as we kind of hear it all together, something must have clicked in your mind. This is what then I can call. Oh, there is relative truth. Oh, there is absolute truth. It is not that any one of us were wrong. None of our definitions were wrong. It is just that they just need to be reconciled. So what we did is a samvada. It is not to prove anybody right or wrong. It is to exchange views. And through that process, we now have arrived at a certain clarity about what is truth. Now, this clarity has happened because of the manana, this churning. Now, the clarity that has remained with you, that when you hold on to nididhyasa, is how you can start using it in your life. It is not that, during the Bhagavad Gita study circle, we contemplate, and whatever we realize here, you keep it only for the class and you go home and do whatever else. No, that is not the idea. Nididhyasa means you start now applying that realization of the truth, because it is universal. Bhagavad Gita is a text containing nothing but universal truths. That is why It has remained to be there even after thousands of years. Unlike many other books, many books have come and gone. At some point of time, they must have been very popular, but they have not remained. Bhagavad Gita has remained for thousands of years because it contains nothing but universal truths. Now, how it is a universal truth? That is what we are going to uncover now as we go forward. That is why it is as relevant as it was for that Arjuna thousands of years back. And it will remain to be relevant, irrespective of how many more generations come. Why? Because it is based on universal reality. Something, however, when you and I look at it, we have to ask the question how it is universal. So, for example, in the statement I made, anything that is born dies one day. You may find it is, it is true. Or you may find, no, there is this particular scenario. Then we have to discuss that scenario. And we have to see it from that viewpoint. Then that we can see whether it also resolves. For example, even the greatest, biggest things, star, the sun, for example, that is the closest star that we know. Even that star will disappear one day, maybe billions of years, but even that will disappear. So like that, anything that is born disappears one day, goes away one day. So like that, Bhagavad Gita is a text of universal truths. So another way our contemplation is going to be is, the focus is on truth, realize and use. There are all these truths of life. It is I who has to realize, because it is I who goes and deals with life day in and day out. It is I who's getting angry, upset, stressed, or happy, peaceful, calm. It's all because of what kind of a training I have got, what kind of a jnana, what kind of a knowledge I have, and how I'm applying that. When I do not know about fire and I burn my hand, I cannot sit and cry. It is I who has to realize why it burned and how I can be safe going forward. So the whole value, the fundamental focus of our study circle and the methodology that we have adopted is to bring about this churn about taking that particular shloka as our base. See, when we took the statement, what is truth? All our attention was on that question, what is truth? And we each one defined it in our own ways. And we saw it from our own perspective. Like that Bhagavad Gita shloka and that Bhagavad Gita shloka's meaning becomes our focus, our anchor for our contemplation. And then we churn that. We churn that from different viewpoints. And then each one of you, so there's a nice analogy, in Krishna's life. What is the most favorite food of Krishna? Most of you would have seen, it's called as Benne Krishna. He loves butter. What is that butter? Why does he like butter? One way of looking at it is, is a very physical way. Oh, he loved butter. But the wonderful nature of all our scriptures and our stories in Purana is, there are layers of meaning. There is a very physical layer and there is a spiritual layer. So the spirit of that story is, only when you churn your mind through right questions and through the right circumstances and guidance, can the butter of the clarity, the truth appear. And when that butter appears, it naturally floats. It naturally floats. It doesn't sink. Meaning what? Now that truth will help you to anchor in your life. And that is how it will be happy, healthy, peaceful. So the churning, Samudra Mantana, you all would have heard that story, Samudra Mantana. So like that, we will be doing the Mantana using Bhagavad Gita shloka as our Merudanda. And who will be churning? You only will be churning. So you have some thoughts, which you can call as, no, not good, so they are the Danavas. The other thoughts which are right, yeah, how do I bring clarity? All that spirit, okay, let me participate, all that other spirit. So like that, we will churn. And then your own butter will appear. And the wonderful nature of Bhagavad Gita is, your butter is not different from my butter. It is not that there's going to be your truth and my truth. And that's how it's a universal truth. Because if it is not universal, then there will still be conflict. There'll still be my truth versus your truth. So just to kind of put it in context through a simple picture, if you notice this particular picture that is on your screen right now, your truth and my truth is argument about what I'm seeing is a circle versus a square. That is where argument can be. Your truth and my truth are like this. No, it's a circle. No, it's a square. That is your truth and my truth. Whereas universal truth is realizing that we both are looking at this object and its reflection here is a circle and its reflection here is a square. That is how we arrive at consensus. That is how we arrive at, yeah, this must be applicable to you, me, and everybody. That is what makes it universal. All right. Sorry, Sarvanji, I took a little longer.
No, I think it was a good way to start a discussion. And even here, I would like to ask everyone, because it was a very simple question, but it turns out to be an eye-opener on what is truth. And so I just want to know, like, if there are any further questions on this. Vijayji explains in great detail, but it's always like only when we ask questions, it registers. At least that's how I've seen for myself.
Shravananji, I wanted to know the origins of Bhagavad Gita in terms of like, did we get Bhagavad Gita from palm leaves, or did we get it with the inscriptions on stones, or, we can't call it a book. So I don't believe that it could be a book. So I want to know, the origins, if at all, if somebody can throw some light on it. And another question I had is, we were talking about butter. So it might be funny, but yeah, there's a fact. My grandmother used to say in her childhood, or probably what she knew or what she knows is that the butter used to be on top of buttermilk. It's like now it's sinking half, right? These two are something which, probably bothering me. Not bothering me, I want to know more.
Mm-hmm. So, I didn't get the second question fully. What do you mean sinking half?
Yeah, see, the butter, when you make it a ball, okay, and leave it on the buttermilk or in the water, now it sinks half. It's like that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and earlier, probably, what my grandmother used to tell me is, it never used to sink so much. It used to float.
Mm-hmm.
Much higher level, the butter, in water or in buttermilk. So this was something which probably, and it all is related to probably earth, and somewhere it could be related to even a lot. It is related to Sanatana Dharma. So I thought, let me ask.
Okay. Maybe I will start with my answer to the first question, and others can join. So the way I understand all our scriptures, like they all came through the lineage of gurus. So it was told by the guru to their disciples, and like they continued. It's mainly by hearing, and then like they continued to pass it on to the next generation, and that's how like it continued to stay relevant. And it was not written because what I've seen is the moment anything is written, right there, there can be a loss in the message itself, trying to put it right, because once it's written, then it can be interpreted in different ways. So from what I know, like all our scriptures, be it the Vedas, Upanishads, right? They were all like told by the gurus, explained by the gurus, and maybe with the modern technology, it got printed and otherwise, but pre-printing, they might have at some point they might have written in the homilies, but it was always that the actual learning was happening from the guru to the disciples by through, in an oral way. Anyone else maybe can add?
Yeah, so it is primarily Shruti Pradhana. Shruti means listening. So if you look at all our great spiritual treasure, it has been handed over unblemished, generation after generation, through the lineage. So in fact, one of the prayer that Shubhaji started with is Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So there are two great lineages. So it is said, Narayana lineage and Adi Shiva lineage. So they are not two lineages. We will be examining all these things later as we go forward. But from the standpoint of how we see it in society. So what that particular shloka is essentially saying is, starting with Narayana, and in the middle, Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya has played a vital role in galvanizing this spiritual knowledge and putting it systematically together. As we go forward, we'll be banking heavily and learning a lot from the great master's insights. So in between Adi Shankaracharya to my own Acharya. So as we all said, we are under the guidance of Shri Prabhuji, Shri Narsim Prabhuji. So Narsim Prabhuji, when you ask him, he doesn't say that, it is my scripture that, you're teaching. We are not teaching Shri Prabhuji's scripture. It is the universal truth, but as we understood it from Shri Prabhuji, we are referring to him as our Sadguru. Sadguru itself means Satguru, the one who is established in truth. So the one who realizes the truth, and one who is living in accordance with the truth, and one who is capable of transmitting that to others. So this transmission, therefore, cannot happen by book, because in the book, if you read the statement, for example, anything that is born dies one day. You only have your own mind to churn that, right? You have only your mind to churn. And depending upon if you know enough, you can probably say, yeah, it is correct. Or you may reject, no, it is not correct. Whereas in a satsang like this, satsang means the group of people who are focused on truth. In a satsang like this, or with a Sadguru, the churning is between two minds. So it's when like rightly now you asked a question, Raviji, and we are looking at how to review that question. Now there is a churn that is happening. Two ways of looking at it, or maybe more than two ways of looking at it. So it is only through this kind of a churn can the truth be established clearly. So therefore, there is a great prominence on the Guru Shishya Parampara. It is not something that you can definitely not learn by books, because books are there. So many books are there. Each one of us, if you walk into a bookstore, the spiritual and the self-help is the probably most visited corner after maybe 30 plus years. Till then, it's the comics, and somewhere in between, it's the romantic novels and mystery and thrillers. And somewhere around 30 plus, suddenly there is something called the self-help, and maybe before that, how to be successful in life, and then maybe somewhere spiritual books. But not that every book can be understood by me only directly, because many books have simple statements. Because the statements are realization, it comes after realization. So you would have heard always, Tat Tattvam Asi, you are that only. Such a simple statement, only 3 words, Tat Tattvam Asi, you are that only. Okay, so what does it mean? Unless I churn and I see the depth of that statement, then that statement is no more just a mere statement. There's a whole understanding behind it. And only when all that understanding is there, can this statement be made. Then this statement becomes a statement of realization. So therefore, coming back to your question specifically, most of our scriptures are through Shruti. Even the Mahabharata itself, especially Bhagavad Gita, you'll be seeing the very first Dhyana Shloka, you'll be seeing how Bhagavad Gita itself was taught. It was taught by none other than Krishna, who is none other than Narayana himself, to somebody called Arjuna, and that was heard, and that was seen by somebody called Sanjaya, and he is narrating that to somebody called Dhritarashtra, is how the Dhyana Shloka itself begins. So it's a Shruti Pradhana. However, there are other stories of also Vedavyasa Maharshi. He is the author of Bhagavad Gita. See, Sri Vedavyasa Maharshi can be thought of as a spiritual scientist who recognized what is the right kind of way to transmit this foundational and fantastic knowledge, unblemished. So he created Mahabharata as a story way of narrating Bhagavad Gita, and he hid the very essence of Mahabharata as Bhagavad Gita. And to help further, he has created so many other Puranas. But anyway, we'll come back. So there are stories which says that he narrated and Sri Ganesha wrote it. Okay. So because it happened thousands of years back, in order to answer very accurately and very historically exactly when it started getting written in the manuscript, so that may be impossible to answer. But suffice to say that the spiritual knowledge in India is a Shruti Pradhana. It's a transmission. It's a transmission.
Yeah. One point I would like to add is, because of this Parampara, Guru Shishya Parampara, we were able to keep our teachings intact in spite of the invaders destroying all our books.
Exactly. So, does this discussion bring clarity to Raviji's first question?
Yeah, 100%. That's important, because when we speak to somebody about Bhagavad Gita or classes, I think we need to know this first.
Yeah, I think everybody will ask that only, this book is given by God, this book is given by God, it cannot be changed. Where did you get your book from? We need to answer them like that.
Yeah. So, Ishaji and Raviji, you and I know from our current experience of life, books are written by some person. However, what is the state of the realization of that person matters a lot in how that book becomes a great book or a not so great book. So therefore, fundamentally, it's a realization of a human. in understanding, in realizing something about the existence, that gets written, printed, because it's easier to distribute. All right. So that's the first question. Sarananji, can we pick the second question? Why butter? Raviji's question is, butter used to float a lot during our grandmother's days. Now it is sinking. Not fully, but somewhat.
I don't know. Is it related to the quality of the milk that is being delivered?
Exactly, sir.
and I can relate that to the quality of the teaching we are getting. I guess like if the teaching is pure, unadulterated, with no hidden agenda, I think the outcome will be as pristine as a clear butter that used to come out. So I guess, yeah, it is about the intent and the clarity and the purity of the source that brings the butter, in our case, the understanding of the core message of Gita as well. Yeah, Ishaji.
Telling my husband, don't ask cooking related questions.
No. You will find we love cooking related examples. It's easiest to understand.
That is one way true. Yeah. A good vessel and good quality product will obviously give good, tasty, or a good hand also to cook.
Absolutely. Whether it is the cooking or whether it is the contemplation, very nicely Sarvanji connected it. So one is, maybe the quality of milk or quality of the hands that are churning, maybe, yeah, that is why the butter may be sinking. So maybe we need to see. But when it applies to our context here, what is that butter we are looking for? Here, the butter we are looking for is the inner realization. That butter. So can that butter sink? What does it mean? It means that, somewhere it is not stable. How do we make it stable? We have to make it stable by reviewing it. What is that is making it unstable? What is a doubt? So as the doubts get removed, it naturally becomes your butter. It naturally starts floating. In your and my context, that is how we can look at all these things.
Hello, Ashwini here.
Yes, Ashwini.
I would like to add just here is whatever floats on the buttermilk is the butter, which sinks is not a butter.
Good one.
Very simple way and very nice way of looking at it. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Nice.
So,
anyone else has questions?
good. So, Sarvanji, we have we have come to the end, I think.
And yeah, maybe we'll.
Can we tell them, how from next session it's going to be? Give a little bit understanding about what we're going to be sharing in the group and how the next session onwards it's going to be.
Okay. Yeah. So we will go with this starting prayer first. The idea of prayer itself is to bring the intent out of why we are joining this session and like what are we trying to learn, accomplish. Right? That actually the message of the prayer itself is that. So we'll start with the prayer, and we will then like start with some kind of exercise, maybe some simple breathing to help bring everyone to a level where like we are ready to receive the message, like be able to listen to the teaching, because the mind is like full of thoughts, and if there is a lot of noise, you may not be able to receive clearly the message, right? So we will we'll start with some breathing exercise for a short duration, and like that will help us bring like settle down. And actually the timing also helps because joining this session in the first thing in the morning, we have not started any other activity, so it's kind of close to a blank slate, but still due to the nature of us, like the previous day's activities may slowly come up, but the breathing exercises does help, right? So after that we will go into the slokas. We will learn how to recite, and then we will look into the message, the meaning, contemplate on that, and see how it makes sense to us. And we throughout and during this contemplation, we will rely on a lot of questioning. We will go through Q&As, and that's how we will do the learning. And then we will end with again a prayer to thank everyone, right from the one who gave the message, which we are learning, and the teachers through whom we are able to learn this, right? And then we'll end the session. Okay. So with that, I will share the ending prayer, and Shubhaji can guide us.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from untruth to truth, darkness to light, impermanence to permanence. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamuduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that is complete. This is complete. From completeness comes completeness. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Nanu, nanembudu, nanalla, ideha manabuddhi nanalla, Satchidanandatma, Shivananu nane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I am Satchidananda Swarupi Shiva. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyajyotihi, Paratparaha, Jyotireva Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atma Jyotish Shivosmyaham. I am the supreme light of awareness, illuminating the outer world of objects, inner world of thoughts, and deep sleep state. I am the divine light of the nature of auspiciousness, Shiva Swarup. Atma Darshanam, Brahma Darshanam, Brahma Darshanam, Satya Darshanam. Recognition of the self is recognition of the whole. Recognition of the whole is recognition of truth. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may we all be protected. May we all be nourished. May we work together, sharing our energies. May our intellect be sharpened. May we be friends forever. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्, सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om. May all be prosperous and happy. May all be free from illness. May all see what is uplifting. May no one suffer. May there be well-being in all. May there be peace in all. May there be completeness in all. May there be auspiciousness in all. Om, peace, peace, peace. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, and peaceful. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om, everyone.
Thank
Hari
you.
Om. Hari
Thank
Om.
you, everyone. Hari Om, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.